This is the Final Round Podcast, coming to you live from the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Final Round Drag Racing Podcast, episode number 63 on deck. It's been about a month since we worked together, so looking forward to catching up with everybody here. Jason has joined us in studio, made the trip in, so it was a sickness. It was a sales call, and then I was in Ohio last week. So
it seems like it's been forever.
It's been about a month, yeah. It's been a little while. A lot has changed. The only thing that hasn't rained.
It's still rain, yes. I was going to say I'm still ugly, maybe a little uglier. Went down to New York City and got fried this past weekend, even though it didn't seem like it was that hot. And so apologize to all the viewers for making myself uglier than I already was.
Did you get the haircut down there?
No. I actually got the haircut before then, which probably wasn't a good thing. I probably should have left it a little bit longer so to shield my...
little built-in UV protection.
Right. I see. But, yeah, it's good to be back. Got to catch up. I mean, I will say, at least at this point, racing season has officially started at this point. And,
they got one race in?
At least one race in. It's better than nothing. Right. Last time we were here, I think they were trying to get test and tunes going and weren't having much success. And I will say, last I saw, we're actually going testing tomorrow. I think maybe Saturday might look okay, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think if there's anybody, Lancaster's racing tomorrow too, so I should be able to get that in for sure. Yep,
we'll dive into a lot of that stuff here a little bit. But as you saw, the opening sequence, we had the photo of one Rapid Randy Schweitz, who unexpectedly passed away earlier this month, and it caught everybody by surprise. Randy previously has been on the show as active with South Butler Nostalgia Dragway. Racin Randy Salerno is joining us on the line right now. Randy, man, I know tough circumstances, and it was back only in March that we had talked a little bit, and we were putting together plans to get everybody from South Butler in the studio, and now here we are. Time fast forward, and we're moving on without Rapid Randy. How's everybody doing out that way?
Well, it came to a surprise to a lot of people, believe me, and it's a huge loss for our organization. I mean, he was the second one we lost within 6 months. We lost Bill Arnold's wife, Sandy, who was another huge part of the racetrack with us. I just talked to Randy the Thursday before he died on Friday. I had just talked to him about doing the podcast and getting stuff ready and stuff like that, and everybody is taking it kind of hard. He was a hard guy to replace. He was a great friend. I mean, I actually met him through the South Butler thing, and he helped me with all the media stuff, and he was great help setting up car shows, and he was just an awesome guy to be around. And it's a big loss to all of us. Big loss.
He was at Waterloo School about the same time as my parents. Graduated
no kidding.
In 76 and 77, yeah. And my dad was out there and did some photography work at South Butler, so it was, it caught him as a surprise. I went to school with a couple of his nieces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like we hung out together or anything, but and only knowing him through the podcast, it was kind of nice to share a little bit of that common ground in the drag racing world and see the improvements that whole group had made,
right,
and the ground that they had made over at South Butler, and I know they were looking forward to another busy season. They're going to have the same 4-race schedule that they had mapped out before, and it's very weird, that it was back in the middle of March at Finger Lakes Speed World, and all that. There was a dozen race cars there represented with South Butler, and he was right there in the middle of all of it, and it just time taken for granted, I guess. You figure between then and now we had maybe 6 shows, 8 shows,
right?
And just we'll get there, we'll do that. That sounds great. We'll do that,
right?
And now there's no sand left in the hourglass. It's tough.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, I have to say that I didn't really know Randy all that well. I mean, really just from the podcast and from the Finger Lakes Speed World show. But I mean, really, just to seemed like a really super guy. Obviously, very passionate about what was going on at South Butler, and I hadn't heard. I mean, I just found out 10 minutes ago, basically. So I mean, this was a real shock to me, and it's too bad. I mean, I guess that's part of life. I mean, it happens unfortunately sometimes with some people. Some get to go the long, slow way, and others just time is up. You didn't know it, but it's too bad. Like I said, he was just a great guy. Like I said, really did a lot for the sport down there at South Butler as well.
Big Ford guy, 61 years old at the age of his passing. Randy Schweitz passing away May the 17th. He worked for forever at Timon Ford. And then from there went to Enterboys Ford in Ovid, and then finished out his dealership career was currently working back at Lincoln Mercury in Canandaigua, and then he was working with Lakeview Health Services. So shifted his focus a little bit along those lines, but it certainly caught me off guard, and I reached out to Racin Randy to talk a little bit about it and some of the memories that he had with Randy Salerno. Again, joining us on the line from work, making some time. He was going to hang outside, but now a rain shower came through, so he's camped out his truck. But we asked how everything was going out there, and obviously there's plenty of different directions to go with South Butler season this year. Is there any memorial races or anything like that are being planned for the summer?
We are going to have, we're going to have a moment of silence at the very first race for Randy and Sandy. And we also have the first race of the year. We're going to have two old-time 1960s Top Fuel dragsters at the track.
Okay.
To do a cackle fest and a burnout.
Right.
One is going to be a 392 Hemi that is alcohol-powered, and the other one is going to be a small block Chevy that's blown on nitro.
Wow.
So, and the one car was an 1967 HRA record holder at 223 miles an hour, and he qualified 11th out of 32 cars at the U.S. Nationals in '67.
Wow!
So this would be pretty cool. I've never seen top fuelers out there like this, so this ought to be very cool.
That's probably the strongest car that's been on that track in 30 plus years, 40 years.
Oh, I'm sure of that. They're not going to let them race the track. The track is still original pavement from '58, so we're going to let them do a cackle and a burnout. That's about, or maybe we'll let them launch. That's about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go much further than that.
I don't think them guys really. That track's only 12 foot wide, and I don't want them wad something up. And they're too beautiful. And the best part about it is they're going to be in the spectator area, and people are going to rope off so people can watch them get the cars ready, warm them up, and do all that stuff. So it's going to be a really great show. Anybody coming out that day with kids, bring earplugs, because you're going to need them. So you're probably going to hear these cars 10 miles away. You're going to hear these cars when they fire up properly. So out there in the Wayne County land, it's a little quiet out there. We're going to make a lot of noise on a Sunday.
And what's the date for that?
That is June 30th. That show is.
Okay. And will that be the first event of the year then?
That's the first event of the year. That's the very first one. Hoping it doesn't rain. I swear it rained today. I swear I saw Noah go by. I swear I saw him go by with the Ark. So we'll see what happens. And then August 25th, we're having another special show. We're actually going to have, I believe it's called Kelly's Kids. I believe we met these people at that Speed World show, and they are an organization that does stuff with kids with cancer. And we're going to get, 3 to 5 of them, I guess, and Friendly Ford, who I work for, is footing the bill. We're going to feed them. We're going to dress them up. We're going to put them in some race cars and do burnouts and launches with them.
I remember...
that's never been happened before. They've never done that before, and they're all excited about it.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Jim Owen.
What was that?
When Jim was on.
Oh, when Jim was on. Okay, yeah, and I thought that was super cool.
And that's another thing that Randy Schweitz hooked up for us. So he was always in the works, man.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, and that'll be a super cool event for the kids for sure. I mean, what a thrill it's going to be for them to. Just to be out at the races will be a thrill for them, but be able to actually sit in the car and take a little ride, that's super cool.
Yeah, they're gonna. I guess the corporation they have helmets, they have the neck bracelets, they have fire suits. They actually have all that stuff because they take them to go-kart tracks and let them do go-kart racing and stuff.
Right.
But they've never done anything like this, and we're going to be the first ones to do it for them. And we're more than happy and proud, and Friendly Ford stepped right in. I told my boss about it. He says, we're in. We're on it. So we're going for it. So it's going to be a great thing.
Yeah, that's great. It's too bad that Randy won't be there to see that, but I guess he'll be looking down from above and smiling at all of his handiwork.
Oh, I'm sure he will, and I'm sure if we do something wrong, he'll let us know about it somehow. I'm guaranteed that.
You guys just put some new timing clocks up, right?
What's that?
Didn't you just put some new timing clocks up?
We have some scoreboards. We finally got them a couple of weeks ago. We're working on trying to get them set up before the first event. We're just trying to figure out how we're going to do it. We have to buy a whole new timing system at the other end and wiring because at the last event we had a car take it out on us at the last race at 2:30 in the afternoon, which stopped racing real fast that day.
Right.
Just an accident. It just happened. We've had to we're replacing a whole bunch of wire, a new system at the end, putting up more guardrails, and somehow we're going to try to get these scoreboards up on poles. If not, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Like I told you, we're in between two cornfields. There's 3 corn silos next to the track. If we have to, we're going to put them on hay wagons and hook them up. We'll have them out there somehow.
I was going to say, get some hay bales and...
That's right. They want to be that high. It's only a 10th mile, so they ain't got to be ain't got to be 50 feet in the air for everybody to see, So, but it's a big help. We can't wait to hook them up. We finally got them. We just got to get them hooked up and check them out. And
where'd they come from?
Done by June 30th. I guess Scott Arnold somehow there was a racetrack up in it's in Luxville, Ontario, Canada had them, and somehow it got down to us that they were for sale. And Scott made a phone call, and I guess there was 20 people in the running for him, and the track organization said whoever got the first $100 deposit to them owned them. Well, we got it there, so we own them.
Oh, that's very cool.
These things are 20 foot long.
I did see a picture on the South Butler Facebook page. I don't know if you were putting them up or trying to put them up or just...
No, we haven't tried to put them up yet. We just got a couple. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do with them and how we're going to hook them up.
Okay.
Right now, it's just trying to figure out how to hook up the systems to them. We had to talk to Pro Tree to talk to them, so how we're going to hook them up in the system we have, with the new system we have to get, the new wiring. It's a lot of phone calls back and forth, and it's their busy time of the year too. They've been extremely busy. Pro Tree has,
right.
So they're trying to help us out. And we only got an organization so big. I mean, we always could use more help, always, but basically there's like 4 or 5 of us right now trying to get this all ready with all the people that will be at the track to help us when we all get started. But all the managerial stuff and all the sponsorship chase and parts chase and all that comes down to usually like 3 or 4 or 5 people, and we're just trying to fit it in along with our regular lives. So,
you know anybody that's involved with like photo sensors and stuff?
Nobody.
No, not at all.
That could make that perhaps a little bit easier.
So
the reason ready, that's all.
The reason we're laughing here, Randy, is because I work for one of the largest photoelectric sensor manufacturers in the world, and more than likely the sensors that you guys use at your track are probably made by us, Banner Engineering.
Oh, well, guess what? Hey, Chris, text me his phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could probably help out a little, but I guess I would also say we should put a shout out. Basically, hey, if there's anybody looking to help volunteer for the South Butler Dragway, right? It sounds like you guys could use some help.
Oh yes, we definitely could use some help. And if you go to the website, if you go to the Facebook page, you will see 2 phone numbers. One of them is mine. The other one is Bill Arnold's.
Yep.
And we will take any help we can get. Believe me.
Also,
we will take anybody.
Just to not to go too indulgent, but at the same time, what they need right now is help specifically with the timing system. And if you can't get out there and help them set it up or have ideas how to network it, and you do have a couple spare bucks to throw to the track so that they can get there, it would be a nice time to get that done so that they can do those upgrades. I know a lot of folks enjoy going out there. Their schedule this year is going to include it's going to be a busy one. They've got 4 races like usual: June the 30th, July the 28th, August the 25th, September the 29th. Drag cart deck starts at 7 a.m. and then you just make pass upon pass upon pass. There's no, unless something's changed for this year, there's no formal racing per se. You just get paired up, right?
Yeah, it's just $20, and it's $20 if you want to race, and you can race as many times. You want to run once, you want to run 40 times. We raced, and nobody wants to race anymore.
And
we have different classes, but we just run, and we usually get down to maybe 10, 15 cars. We'll just run open to anybody who just wants to run. And I've got guys that come from Cicero, New York. If they don't run, I kid you not, 25 to 30 times that day, they don't run at all. And they drive them cars home after they're done. So it's pretty amazing. And they beat on them too. Let me tell you.
There's no alcohol allowed on the ground, but if you want to run methanol, feel free.
Yep, you can run alcohol in the cars, just nothing on the ground, please. We don't need any of that. No, that we don't need. But I said it'd be the first time. I don't know if they ever had nitro at this track before, but we're going to have it there the 30th of June. I can tell you that. So that's going to be a first, I think.
That'll be super cool.
It's going to be amazing.
Is there any chance you could get a hold of Mr. Arnold and see if you guys are available here in a couple weeks? We'll look at the schedule and try and get you on one more time before your race happens.
Sure, I can call, give Bill a call, and I'll get a hold of you, Chris. We'll set it up, man. I'd love to come back. I know this was a last minute thing today, but
yeah,
it's like I say, it's been a heavy heart with everybody with Randy. It's been a heavy heart, so it's been a little tougher on everybody because of that, because what he meant to us.
Sure,
and so it's just we'll do anything we can, and we're never going to stop. I was chasing sponsorship today. I was chasing.
Randy doesn't.
So I think everybody thinks this is just, we start racing and we're done. And me and Bill Bill talked for probably a good hour and a half last night. This is a 20 or 24 hour a day, every day of the year job. It really is. And it's just for fun.
To run 4 times. And he's not, if anybody's ever owned a racetrack that was listening right now, they know that he's not lying.
Oh, yeah. It's a ton of work. But, with all the millions of dollars that you're making, right, Randy?
Millions.
Oh yeah, we're making billions. Don't worry about that. Oh yeah, we're rolling in the dough. Don't worry about it. We can't wait to get the money to the bank on Monday. Okay. But believe me, everybody busts me all the time because I know when we're going to repave the track, and I said, well, you give me $50,000 to $100,000, I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Right.
We don't make a ton. We only charge $5 a piece, for spectators. And we have an impromptu car show in the field. Like your car's 1990 and older. So if you come in with a car and it's got 2 people, it's $10 for you in the car to get in. I mean, how can you beat that?
Right.
Yeah, it's a fantastic deal to go out there and, nice day. I mean, get a nice day with some nice weather, hang out there at the track, like you said, do a little car show, hang out there, watch some racing. I mean, just a great time all around for sure.
Yeah, we have vendors, vendors, little swap meet. We got people with food. We usually have an ice cream truck, and it's a lot of fun. My day starts about 6 in the morning on race day and goes till whenever we get done. So my wife's sometimes calling me at 6 o'clock and not gonna be not home yet because I ain't done. But she's very cool about it. I tell you, my wife, she lets me do all this. She really is a great thing because she knows this is a passion of mine, and she lets me do it. Her father raced there, my uncles raced there, I raced there. So she understands. Sometimes it takes too much out of me sometimes, but she also understands it's a passion of mine, and she loves drag racing too. Don't get me wrong. If I had a car, she'd probably be racing. I'd probably never get a chance in the seat. She'd be in it all the time.
That's awesome. We're gonna plan on you guys coming out to the studio here in a couple weeks in that run up to your event coming up on, I forgot the date now, June the 30th. So we got a little bit of time for you guys to all coordinate when you can make it out here, and we'll dive into that. We'll find out more about the NASCAR collectible collection, what's been happening with you in terms of the radio shows and things like that in the greater Rochester area. We'll hit on all that stuff, and of course, to the entire South Butler community, Randy, let them know that our condolences are with you guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it, and we're going to put on a show for you. Believe me. Come on out, people. You're going to love the show.
Find them on Facebook, South Butler Nostalgia Dragway. It should pop right up for you. You can find it there. Schedule events, all sorts of photos, event listings, and additional grounds details are available on there. Racin Randy Salerno, appreciate you making time for us, buddy. I know we got a little bit of work to get back to, and then you can quit for the day. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. We'll talk to you later.
We'll see you soon.
Randy.
Okay.
Racin Randy. I ended up taping my phone to the desk so it would stop falling down.
I was wondering what you were doing with the duct tape. I'm like...
I'm making it work is what I'm doing.
All right.
That's what I'm doing. I know you sent this to me a second ago. There it is.
Yes, Doug Lynden, if you're listening, you are on deck.
Does Doug know he's going to be on?
Doug does know he's going to be on. I was trying to remember, have we had Doug on before?
I think we've always talked about it, but we've never made it. Hey, Doug, it's Chris. Can I put you in? Perfect.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that we've ever had Doug on either. I was trying to think if we ever had. I know we had Eric Macaroli on, but I wasn't sure that Doug has ever been on previously.
Well, now's your chance, Doug. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hey, Doug. So I guess, can you confirm, have you ever been on the show before?
No, I have not been on the show before.
Man, you've been dodging us.
Have you even asked him?
Yeah, I think I've been dodging them.
Yes, I know I've asked Doug at least once before, because I asked him a couple of weeks ago, and I forget what was going on a couple of weeks ago. There was a couple of things I know. At one point in time, I know I asked you about going to the concert, but you were going to Norwalk then, but you should have gone to the concert from what I saw from the Supergas results.
I absolutely should have went to the concert.
So, what happened at Norwalk?
Well, I'd tell you that the car was awesome. I qualified 90 with a 6, and this is how tight things are out there. So I go dead 90 with a 6, and I was qualified number 14.
Wow.
So there was about 80 Supergas cars out there. 13 guys ahead of me were better, either tied me or were better than 90 with a 6. So needless to say, I didn't make it into the top 8 shootout and still qualified 14th. So, it's tough. And then, so everything was great. I go up for first round, and I was just a little tardy on the tree. And, the other guy was 009, and I had to get there. So I showed him something on the top end, but There was a double breakout and nothing I could do I couldn't get behind enough. So.
Well, that happens sometimes, right? I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's tough. I mean, the racers are so good out there nowadays. Anybody can put a good package together and just put you on the trailer. It's just ridiculous.
Right. Now, was that might have been your first, I guess, Supergas race of the year, right?
Yes, first Supergas race of the year. We had planned on going to Columbus, but the weather just looked horrible, so we bailed on Columbus and decided to go to Norwalk.
Oh, okay, all right.
Norwalk was on the schedule, but that was our plan to get there anyways. But so we just bailed on Columbus, and not that I'm chasing any NHRA points, because I'm really not. I just wanted to hit to start the year off and hit a couple and see what happens. If you put some points together, then maybe I'd continue on. But if if it didn't work out, then so be it.
That's the. I have to say though that does have its downsides, right? I mean,
as far as chasing points, or?
Yeah. I mean, how many people do you know? It's like, I was going to go to a couple at the beginning of the year, see how things go, and then keep going to more after that. And how many people do you know that start off really hot and then go to all these races the rest of the year just to say, geez, I really wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. It's. The expense is just ridiculous,
right?
And the time off, and I just, it's realistically, with the advent of big money bracket racing out there and what you can win doing that, and the expense, doing that, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to chase it anymore.
Right.
Not that I don't like doing it. Jason, you know me, I love Supergas racing. I love throttle stop racing, and it's just getting to the point where it doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish I wish there were more races around that it wasn't just so darn expensive to go traveling and go do it. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, like I said, I mean, it just really doesn't make sense to do it compared to the high dollar bracket races. I mean, you just can't really beat those. I mean, I mean, in general, let's call it, the $1 million race aside. I mean, you're $500, $600 to race for a weekend, 3 races, and usually they're, $15,000, $25,000, $30,000 a day to win. I mean, how do you beat that?
For sure.
So did you get out before Norwalk, as far as before testing goes? Did you get out any other races before Norwalk?
Next weekend, we're going out to Dragway 42 for the triple 20s.
Okay,
so that's that's a good race. Did well there last year. Did well enough to pay for my whole season in one race.
Yep.
And then we've pretty much going to play it by ear after that. We entered in the Norwalk has a big money race on Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend, whichever one it is in September.
That's Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. They're paying out $40,000. It used to be the $10,000 nationals. Now they've upped that. So I've entered into that.
Is that the crazy one where it used to be like $100 in every single race?
Yep. Yeah, it'd be $100 and you can race for 3 $10,000ers.
Right. So I'm assuming,
but they'd get 600 cars, and it was just crazy.
Right. So I'm assuming they up the entry fee this year.
They bumped the entry fee. It's $600 to enter, and then they capped it, I believe, at 495 cars, or maybe 395, something like that.
Yeah, because you don't want to get crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to get too crazy.
It's still crazy. But other than that, it's hit the local stuff. The TNT series, which is a great series, locally for 7-0, and then hit some of that stuff, and obviously, the Super Gas races at Empire.
Have you raced? Did you race the TNT race a week or so ago, or no?
Yeah, I did race on Friday at Lancaster.
Okay.
That was going well until I had some motor issues.
Oh, what happened?
Something broke inside the motor pretty bad. I don't know. I know the cam broke, and did quite a load of damage, which is unfortunate because that motor is pretty much brand new this year. So
are you racing? You got a spare in now?
I have actually one of Nick Kakuri's spare motors in there right now. It's a 582, so it's pretty much the same. Makes about the same power as what I had in there. So he was nice enough to let me put that motor in my car for a little while until I get mine fixed back up. And
so I didn't hear anything about I guess your motor though. So you don't know exactly what happened at this point?
I don't know. I took it back out to the engine builder and let him take a look at it to see what happened. So
well, that's a bummer.
Hasn't quite got it apart yet, but I know. All I can tell you is there's some damage to the oil pan and some rocker arms, and the rocker arm stands went flying through the valve cover, and
yikes!
Did some pretty bad damage. Yeah, so I had a second round by in the TNT race, and I was 3/4 track, and it just it let loose and felt like somebody just hit the kill switch, and it shut right off. So fortunately, it didn't hurt anybody else, didn't wreck, didn't do any of that, but did some pretty nasty damage to the motor.
I would say Chris is getting his kicks right now, showing pictures of your car, and he found one of me and Phil's car lined up against you. I can't say whether or not it's a an elimination round or a time trial round, but the
caption says the win light's already on and we haven't staged yet.
I will say that I do know that I owe Doug at least one, maybe two. The last time I had him on the ropes, and after
this was round 1 from 2017 at Empire.
Okay. So yeah, last time we raced was last year sometime in the Corvette, and I had a better reaction time, and I had him going down the track and took too much stripe and broke out to lose. And the first thing that Doug came over to me and said was, "Hogging the stripe there a little bit, weren't you?"
Yeah, I do remember that.
And yes, I was. And but that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. I'm excited to get Phil's car back out there and see if we can potentially do some damage with Phil's car this year. We'll see.
Yeah, it looks like you did some work to that, right, this year?
Yeah, new front struts on it. So at this point, the car's got new rear end housing, new front struts. The suspension's been gone through. The rear suspension's been gone through. I can't tell you how many times. I guess the good news is the motor was fresh, the tranny was fresh, the tires I think have literally like 8 passes on them. So I mean, pretty much other than the tubing, let's call it holding everything together. I mean, pretty much everything in that car is brand new. So we're gonna.
Yeah, we did the same thing. I had to put a new housing in this year. I had a housing that cracked a couple of years ago when I had it
that's
fixed.
right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
And it was time for a new one, so I put a new housing in it, new rear shocks, and freshen up the tranny and freshen up the motor, and that's look what that got me there. But, you try and do things right. You spend the money and you buy the best parts, and you do things the right way, and sometimes it still doesn't matter. I mean, drag racing is a very humbling sport.
Oh yeah.
And whether the car lets you down or the driver lets you down, it's tough pill to swallow. So.
And in a lot of cases, I guess, I mean, maybe you would say you let yourself down at Norwalk, but I mean, in a lot of cases, right, it's you didn't even necessarily do anything wrong, but you just get beat by some ridiculous package against you. I mean, that just happens.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. There's you see what's out there, and some guys just put, whether it's luck or skill or somebody's cheating, who knows? But
right.
Some of these guys are putting these ridiculous packages together, and it's just, it can go either way. It's just you just never know.
Yeah, I forget who it was. I know Billy Lieber posted a picture a couple of weeks ago of one of the big dollar bracket races, and I want to say it was a 1,000th package lost to a perfect package, and then I saw another time ticket sometime, I thought it was last weekend maybe, where it might have been a TNT race where it was quadruple zero at the finish line.
Yeah.
And I mean, those things happen. I mean, and you can't get angry about it. You just, what are you going to do? I mean, that's... No,
absolutely. At the first round of the TNT race, I ran Ted Barnes the first round, and I was... I don't know, it was 003 and I go dead 3, and just so 6th out pack, and that's tough to beat, and whether or not that was just luck or not, who knows, but you put those packages up like that, and people are just gonna have a tough time getting inside of those ones.
I'm sure as you were going through the finish line in flames in the second round, Ted was like, why couldn't that happen first round against me?
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how is the at this point? I mean, 55 is working out well for you. I mean, you're happy with the way the car is working?
Yeah, car is phenomenal. I mean, it's that's definitely a good piece. And it's people keep asking me, do you miss the Roadster? And at times I do, because the Roadster was great to see out of. Your vision was great out of that.
Right.
55 is good. It's all windows, so I mean, it's definitely got some good vision to it as well. And it's just a much better car all around. So
right. And
I can do a lot more things with that than I can do with the Roadster.
Now, how long did you have the Roadster for?
I had that for I think 6 years, 5 or 6 years.
And where did that car come from?
That car was out of Massachusetts. I bought it as a roller. It was kind of a basket case when I first got it, and did a bunch of upgrades to it, and over the years, and made it into a winning car. Over the years.
The car was a basket case, or you were a basket case?
Okay.
Both. But the car was a basket case when I got it. But I knew it had potential. We went and looked at it and knew it had some potential, and the price was right, so I couldn't pass it up.
Now, I don't know if we've ever, I guess, talked about it or not, but how did you get started in racing?
Well, I got started back in high school. Just myself and friends were kind of got into it. I started racing back in the late 80s, back at the old Wattsburg drag strip, or Lowville, which is the Lucky Drag City, they call it now.
Okay, yeah.
Down in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But back in that day, I mean, the track is in pretty rough shape now, but back in that day, it was pretty happening. There was a good car count you get there, and there were some pretty big names that used to go there way back in the day. So that's really where I got started and met a bunch of people there, and then just kind of that rolled into racing at Lancaster back in the 90s, and then just kind of went from there. I did get out of it for quite a number of years, just financially. It was just, I couldn't afford it.
Right.
But until I could, back to, being able to afford it again, then I got back into it.
Now, are you originally, I know you live in the Fredonia area now. Are you originally from the Fredonia area?
Yep. Originally from Fredonia. Lived here all my life.
And, Lucky Drag City there, is it like equidistant for you from there and Lancaster?
Yeah, it's about an hour each way.
Okay. And was it just a bunch of high school guys, basically? It's like, hanging around and kind of had interest in cars,
Yep.
and, hey, let's go to the drag races type of thing?
Exactly. That's how it worked. There was a group of friends that we were all just motorheads, and we built some cars in high school, and we do burnouts in the parking lot in school, and just a bunch of good guys, and it just kind of just expanded and decided, well, let's go check this out, and we'd go there every Sunday, and I'll hang out and race and do what we could.
And I guess how did you get? I would say, Chris just threw a picture up. It looks like, I'm guessing, mid-'80s headbanging in your bedroom, maybe?
Got the Guns N' Roses poster.
Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah. Obviously, Jason, you and I share the same taste in music. So.
We do.
So my wife's in the background laughing, just so you know. She's watching.
Well, I'm glad to know that you're not just a poser, but you're a real metalhead that goes back to the 80s.
I am a true metalhead back from the 80s. There's no doubt about that. And, long mullet and all.
That's excellent.
And there is actually a picture that I have that has not hit the internet yet of me with my first race car, well, actually a street car, was a 71 Firebird.
Okay.
And I had that. That's what I raced. And pictures of me with quite a long mullet in the car, blaring some Skid Row, and my Metallica sweatshirt on. So.
You definitely got to post that at some point in time. I will say I never had the long hair. I guess I never did it just because I never grew my hair long enough to actually make it look halfway decent. I had the little bit of an afro going, but I never had the long hair. So it's always funny to see the guys like yourself nowadays who keep their hair extremely cropped short.
Those days are gone. That's for sure.
Right. It was a 71 Trans Am, you said?
Firebird. Yeah.
Firebird. Okay.
Firebird.
And I guess how did you get I guess interested in cars? Was your dad into cars or anything like that?
My brothers were. My brothers were into different kinds of different stuff, and actually one of my sister's ex-husband, he was big into cars and had him and his father had a shop, and they built some race cars and did some paint work, and I would go to the races with them quite a bit. But ever since I was a kid, I was always into some sort of motorized vehicle, whether it be dirt bikes and go-karts and building stuff like that. So anything motorized I was into. And
I'm guessing your family, when they went to the races, that they started at Lucky Drag City as well. Is kind of what lured you there, kind of at first.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, that's how it started.
I was saying, what ended up getting you to go to Lancaster? Was there anything in particular?
Just wanted to explore something different. We raced at Lucky's for quite a number of years and just wanted to explore something different, and that's when we finally started. I bought a trailer, and I used to drive the car to the track.
Now, was that still the Firebird at that point?
Yeah. And then I after that, then I got the Monza. I had a 1980 Monza, and that's when once I got that car, that's when I started going to Lancaster.
Okay.
And then from there, I'd go on out to Empire, and had some friends that met a bunch of people. I mean, I met Eric Macaroli at Lancaster and got into a different group of friends there, and they just they would go out to Empire, so I'd follow them out there, and so it was just kind of progressed from there.
Yeah, I assume that you Eric originally being from Kenmore, I figured that you probably met Eric at Lancaster, and obviously the two of you have become very good friends over the years.
Yep.
Now, I mean, when you were at that point in time, when you were racing at Lancaster, was it the car you were racing, like the car in heavy or mod?
Yes. Yeah, I was racing it in heavy, and then I put a trans brake in it, and believe it or not, I couldn't foot brake race for the life of me for some reason with that car. I was good with the Firebird, but I couldn't foot brake that Monza. But then I put a training brake in there and a delay box, and then that's like I don't know if it was all downhill from there, but that's when I started winning rounds. So.
Okay, yep. Well, I will say, I mean, it's obviously different, right? I mean, I haven't done it enough. I can't say that I couldn't be halfway decent at it, but I mean, right now, foot brake racing, I am terrible.
I'm horrible at it.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be first round fodder for any of the guys that race in the foot brake class out at Empire on a regular basis. It'd be like, I want Oldfield first round, because more than likely I'm either going 400 red or 600 green.
That's pretty much. There's no in between for me either.
Yeah, it's brutal. I know. I mean, that's one thing I will say with. Pelican, racing the stocker now, right? I guess I'll give the guy credit. I mean, I know he hasn't won a lot of rounds. I mean, it's a different deal than Super Gas, but yeah, the learning curve to try and foot brake race is definitely very, very difficult. And I know that he's kind of finding that out firsthand as well.
Oh, for sure. I give credit to the guys that are good at it, and that's an art at this point to me. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. So after the Monza, I mean, was the Monza the last car you had before the Roadster then?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I had the Monza for quite a number of years.
And then decided, all right, I can't do this anymore, and sold it. And
yeah, I just wanted something different, really, at that point. It wasn't.
So when you took the time off, when did you keep the Monza all those years?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you just parked it in the garage.
Yep.
And
I mean, that car originally was a street car too, so I did drive it on the street a little bit.
Okay.
Not a lot, just a little bit, but mostly it was just parked until I could afford to race again.
I mean, how many years was it parked?
Oh, geez, probably at least 5 or 6 years.
Okay, I'm surprised actually to hear that you came back out, because that's a lot of cases it's
the end.
That's the end.
Yeah.
Once you walk away, you walk away. Yeah.
It is, yeah. A lot of people it is.
Yeah, so I'm surprised to hear that you came. I guess you were able to keep the car as a street car. I guess that. Yeah, it just wasn't really. It was. We got a little bit into the cruising. Go to the cruise nights and a little bit here and there, but it was just boring to me. I'm just sitting there watching cars coming in and out of the parking lot. It's really not my style. So, I knew at some point in time I was gonna at least try and get back into it. Just financially had to wait till the right time. So when did you first, I guess, start racing Super Gas then?
Well, I used to go. When Lancaster, I mean, they had a good Super Gas class there.
Right. Yep.
I'd go and watch them, and then Eric bought Mark Volker's old car,
right?
And he started racing in that class, and that's really what got me into it.
Oh, no kidding.
There was a good group of guys, that he'd race with on a weekly basis, and I knew that was kind of where I wanted to go. So that's why I knew that a roadster was at that point in time, roadsters were, that was just a good way to get into it. So.
Sure. Yeah, it was so you never tried racing the Monza and Super Gas then?
No, I only raced that in Super Street or Hot Rod.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, you had some experience in with the Pro Tree.
Yeah, I had some throttle stop experience before I got into the roadster.
And when was that? I mean, that you kind of started racing Super Gas out of Lancaster.
Oh, I don't think, truthfully, I don't think they stopped racing that class at Lancaster before I got the roadster.
Okay.
Or right about the same time. It was dwindling, there wasn't a whole lot of the car count wasn't really good. But then at that point in time, we were starting to get into the IHRA scene as well.
Yep.
So we were starting to travel a little bit with that. So, I knew that there was other avenues to go race Super Gas.
Yeah, and I guess we should have had down at the bottom of the screen here that, IHRA, I don't know, what was it, 2016 IHRA World Champ, Super Rod World Champion?
I think it was it 2015? I think it was.
Oh, Chris, I think Chris is fixing that right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously you had some really good success with IHRA. I mean, prior to winning the championship with IHRA, were you the last IHRA World Champ? I
was, yes.
I
have that distinction now.
I thought we had that discussion before, which is pretty darn cool, actually. I mean, it's cool and it's not. It's cool that you are the last IHRA Super Rod World Champ. It's not cool that they don't race Super Rod anymore.
Doug was so good that year that they decided there was no way that anyone could ever top it, and they just kept it at that.
Right.
There's no reason to do this anymore. We'll just move on.
Yeah. I don't think that was the plan, but
I will say
I definitely miss it. I mean, that was just that IHRA. I mean, you could go race 2 races in one weekend, and that was, they really had a good thing, and that just stinks that nobody supported it,
Right. No, and, I hear you, and I will say
I don't think you're the only person that misses it either.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. I'm definitely sure of that, and I don't mind racing NHRA. It's fine, but it's just you got to travel. You got to take so much time off. You're there for 4 days for one race, and the payouts are just it's not there. So
yeah, the payout's terrible. It's expensive. I mean, what do I enjoy about it? I mean, the thing that I enjoy about it is the fact that you're going to a big race with a whole bunch of cars that are really competitive, and you're racing against some top-notch competition in a class that you love, right? I mean, that's
you've got to have your stuff together. There's no doubt. There's no slouches. It's fun. There's no doubt about it. It's fun.
Yeah, but I know that when we took West New York Super Rod Association out on the road. I mean, those Ohio boys. I mean, they supported it. I mean, that was the highest car count that we ever had in all the years of running the West New York Super Rod Association. Was that race out of Dragway 42?
Right.
So I mean, clearly they are still passionate for it.
Yeah, there is. There definitely is. I just can't believe there was 80 cars at Norwalk in Super Gas. It's just, that's a big car count.
It is a big car count, and it is. I have to say, it is surprising. It is Norwalk too. I mean,
that has something to do with it as well.
It's always it's one of the highest car counts for sure, but. Yeah, it's just from my own perspective, it's disappointing that we can't get, I guess, more people to travel to have more races around, more Super Gas and throttle stop races around. But I guess at this point, it's one of those things where guys like to participate like 1 or 2 times a year, and just because they enjoy it, and otherwise they're going where the money's going.
Yeah, exactly.
But one of these days. We'll try and put something together. Now, are you planning on going to Rob Keister's North versus South shootout?
I was planning on that. Yeah, that's in the works.
Yeah, that's in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, is that something that you're planning on going to as well?
It is. I will say that I think Phil is on the fence, but I definitely really want to go to that race. I mean, New Media is a track that I haven't been to in quite some time, and I really like going to New Media. It's a cool track, and I really like racing against not that I can look and say, well, geez, all I do is go to Empire every week and win, because you guys are always kicking my rear end, but I do like I guess racing against different people, and racing against guys that have a really good history. I mean, obviously Tom Goldman, right? I mean, he's
exactly
already on fire this year. I'm assuming that Tom will be out at New Media, but
I would assume so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rob would kill me if I didn't show up for this one. So
I'm pretty sure that Rob would kill me if I didn't show up as well. And
we've been talking about getting together, at least some of his races somewhere. Unfortunately for me, it's such a long drive to get into any of his races.
Right.
7+ hours. But New Media for me is maybe 4.5 to 5 hours, so it's not horrible.
Right.
But of course, now that weekend is the same weekend as John Cera's race at Empire, so you pass up a chance at $15,000, basically in my backyard versus going down there. But
right.
I also got to see how the car shakes out with Nick's motor in there, and see how things are with that as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I will say it's like this weekend was supposed to be our first Super Gas race out at Empire, and we decided to reschedule that for later in June, because this weekend is the National Open up at Toronto Motorsports Park.
Right.
So I mean, you're constantly trying to, I guess, avoid schedule conflicts. And again, when you're talking about a class, it's really a niche class at this point, right? You get a few number of cars, and you just don't want to try and compete against anything.
Right. That National Open is kind of a disappointment, though. I went up there a couple years ago, and there's not enough cars to make a full class in any of the 90 classes. So they have to combine all the classes to make one payout. So you've got 1090 cars racing against 890 cars, or racing against 990 cars.
Right.
And it's just ridiculous. And you've got to guess on the tree or try and figure out your delay box to make it work. And it's just a mess. So.
Yeah, again, it is crazy. It's unbelievable to me, again, that we can't get the people to go out and to support something like that.
I know.
Not that we've had ridiculous car counts, but I mean, with the Western Area Super Auto Association, I think the lowest number of cars I've ever had out at a race was 10. And the most number of cars we've had was 26 or 28, something like that. But I think, if I remember correctly, Super Gas, the most number of cars I think they maybe ever had in Super Gas at the National Open was 5.
Yeah. I believe 2 years ago when I was there, I think there was only 5.
And that just blows my mind. And but I guess it's because of the fact that payout isn't guaranteed, and again, it's expensive to get in, and
it doesn't matter. They still charge you $170 per day.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. So it just doesn't make any sense.
And obviously, Toronto Motorsports Park has had its issues as well. So I know that some people don't, historically just don't want to go back there. They've been burned too many times, and they don't want to go there. But
correct.
I don't remember. Did you when we went up there? I don't know if we remember if we went up there 1 year or 2 years, but we went up there. Did you go up there with us?
I don't think so. I don't think I was up for that one.
Yeah, I don't remember you being there, but I would say the weekend that we were there, at least, I mean, it was a decent weekend. We did okay, and
right.
I don't remember how many cars we had. I do remember that Andrew Stork took home all the money.
Well, that's not uncommon.
Which is, it's not uncommon, actually. He came down last year from Race Star 1 race and won there, too. There's, I don't understand why I can't get that Canadian to come down and race with us more. I mean, he seems to have some pretty good success.
He's tough. He's definitely tough.
So, in the short term, you're going to come out this weekend? Are you going to be racing it all this weekend or no?
I was gonna try and get out Saturday to Empire just to at least get the car shaken down. I just put this motor in on, buttoned it up on Monday, so I want to get some hits on it to make sure everything's okay for actually just in preparation for next week's triple 20s.
Yep.
Just to make sure everything's okay. So, but no, the forecast is not too good weather-wise, so who knows what's going to happen.
You could potentially talk to Randy Jewell. Phil and I there's a track rental that's going on tomorrow. So I'm gonna
yeah, that's just too tough for me to get out of work in time to get up there.
Yeah.
For that, so it's gonna have to be Saturday or Sunday. So
I would say this is the crazy thing. So to go testing. I'm going to be taking a day of vacation so I can go testing tomorrow because the weather looks crappy, like you said, on Saturday. And
yeah, I know that's horrible. I cannot believe the terrible weather we've had around here.
You can say that again.
Lately, it's just been horrible. I feel terrible for the tracks. God, Jerry's just got to be losing his mind.
Yeah, it has not been good, and obviously Lancaster too, right? With Swinarski and Vito buying Lancaster, it's like, all right, here's your. Thanks, the thanks you get for saving the track from closing down forever is we're going to take your money and then rain every single weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to Ohio and the track that I work at finally raced.
Finally raced?
I think they had 7 straight rainouts.
Wow.
To start the year. And now they're calling for thunderstorm Sunday.
Yeah, it's been
ridiculous.
It's been really, really bad. I shouldn't say that. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the weather forecast for Saturday. I didn't look today, but it looked iffy, I guess I would say, for Saturday.
It doesn't look good.
What city is it?
Leicester, Leicester. I think it's LEI. I don't think the I before E rule holds for.
That's fine.
I would say, like I said, I know it looked iffy and
not good.
No,
it's not great.
Yeah, we had talked about potentially going out to Empire tomorrow night, but I have something else going on tomorrow night, so we're gonna pay the big bucks.
If you don't go, the weather will be perfect.
Oh yeah.
That's usually what happens. You don't go. I've been bit by that too many times already. So even this year, we made a decision to go out to Norwalk just to test, and then hit their bracket race, and it was so up in the air, and the weather looked terrible, and me and Tom Cooley decided to go together, and we just said, you know what, if we don't go, it's gonna be perfect, and they'll get the race in. Sure enough, we went out there. It was 46 degrees and rained most of the time. It was terrible.
Yeah, I would say that is definitely no fun.
No, not at all.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get out to Empire this weekend and do a little bit of testing, and then I don't know the next race then for you. Is there another TNT race between now and our race at the end of June?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I thought there potentially was.
Your race is what, the 22nd, was it?
Our race, I think, is the 22nd. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the week before is a TNT race.
Yeah, they're right. Yep. I think you are correct, and I'm hoping to be able to make that as well. Though I don't know. It's crazy time of year for me at this point. Our exchange student is going to be leaving, is winding up her time with us, and you got graduation and trips to Niagara Falls and all sorts of other stuff going on. So I don't know if I'll be able to make that or not, but I hope so. If nothing else, once July 1 rolls around, at that point we should settle into our summer schedule, and I hope I can go enjoy myself and do some TNT racing this year.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll stop raining by then.
Right, exactly. We'll cross our fingers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So other than your lovely wife Pam, I guess, is anybody else that you would like to thank before we kind of let you go, or right at the 8:00 hour here?
Well, I just obviously that her and I are our team, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We do get some help from my work, and it's not really a huge sponsorship deal, but they do help me out. Obviously Nick Curry, that's a big thing. There's not a lot of guys out there will just say, hey, here, take my $20,000 motor and
right.
just, go ahead and race it. That's a stand-up thing that, and I didn't even ask. It was just, he called me up and said, hey, go ahead and take it. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. He's a good dude.
Yeah, absolutely. A little misunderstood, but he's a good guy. So, and Eric, obviously, Macro is always behind me for everything we do, and so good team, and obviously all the racers, and Jason, that's one of the reasons why we do what we do, because of the people that we get to hang out with during and after the races.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, and we've got such a good group of people that we get to hang out with, and on the weekends it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, we obviously like to get a bigger paycheck for winnings rather than a smaller paycheck, but all of us are all doing this for the same reason. It's to have fun, right? And
yeah, definitely. What's the old saying goes, if you want to become rich in drag racing, start out with $1 million.
Right. Yeah, we're definitely not doing this for the money. And like I said, there are certainly a bunch of really good people out there that are fun to go hang out with. And I'm a little disappointed this year that all of our races, unfortunately, are only single-day races, so we won't get to do the have a frosty beverage, I guess, at night, unless we all decide to just hang out and camp overnight anyways.
That makes the morning that much better. You don't have to worry about putting the car together.
That is true. Yes, you don't have to get up
and
just
camp.
Right? Yeah,
just camping.
Yeah, exactly. We can just pack up and go.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And it is fun to hang out. It is fun to hang out. And
disappointed in your short-sightedness.
Yeah, I don't do much. I'll have to convince Phil to. You know what I'll have to do is let Phil bring the crew cab, and he can take the race car home, and I'll just bring the motor home. And okay, see you later.
Yeah, there you go.
Because it is fun to hang out in the evening and reminisce about those days' events.
Oh, no doubt. That's one of the best things about it.
Right.
There's no question there.
Right. Well, Doug, I guess unless there's anything else that you have, or Chris, anything that you wanted to cover?
I want to get into the sometime, because without a doubt, Doug's going to be back on.
I just can't believe it's taken this long to get Doug on to begin with.
I know. He did a great job. So, if the vote of confidence helps him want to come back, I do want to get deeper into the Roadster and some of its history.
Yeah.
That was some of those pictures go quite a ways back. And then,
absolutely. Yeah.
The decision making and the preparation that went into getting the 55 to where it is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of your favorite
definitely.
One of your favorite cars.
Oh, love the 55.
No doubt we can spend some time on that for sure.
Funny thing too is that before Doug bought the 55, he actually sent me pictures of another car that he was looking at, and I don't know how close you were to buying that car, but it was a 63 Corvette.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure you were a little partial to that one as well.
I am. Yes, I am. So, yeah, when I actually heard that when I heard that you bought a car, I forget who it was that told me, but when I heard you bought a car, I'm like, oh yeah, I know, Doug. He's gonna buy a 63. He's like, no, he bought a 55. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely have Doug on again. I'd love to. It's a bit of a haul from Fredonia to here. I'd love to have him in the studio, but who knows? Maybe we'll go out, make a road trip out to West Her or something, and set up shop in West Her.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you know Pat Osman?
What's that?
How do you know Pat Osman?
Pat Osman?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, being a Dunkirk guy, Dunkirk, Fredonia area is pretty small, so everybody knows everybody.
Sure do.
just he knows a bunch of friends that I know, and just over the years we've talked, and I know his family, and just one of those things, acquaintances, because we live so close together, and everybody kind of knows everybody.
What's the connection, Chris?
Pat drove derby cars for a long time in Chautauqua County.
Okay.
And I got to know him that way, and he is hands down one of the best dudes you will ever met.
Oh.
I mean, he is just an awesome, awesome guy.
Yeah, he is a very good guy, and he's pretty good derby driver too as well.
And I love seeing him get twisted out of shape. Like, if his shoe comes untied, it could be a complete meltdown. He gets so wound up over stuff. It's a riot. I saw him for a little bit this weekend out in Chillicothe. Yeah.
Oh.
And I happened to hit on and said there were some mutual friends. I wondered if there was anybody else that we'd had on the show before.
Yeah.
And Pat was there. I'm like, that's cool, because I know a bunch of people out in Fredonia. I mean,
Jeff Salerno.
The name sticks out, but I can't remember why.
Is Jeff Salerno's from Fredonia?
Yep, he's from Fredonia. So he was derby. He ran a lot of derbies, and now he's I think he's still a little bit into it, but he's got into drag racing, and his family's into cars. But him and Pat were friends too. So
Eric Remington's another one that stands out. The Riddles, Mike and Dave Riddle. They're big out that way. Yep.
Yeah, actually, Mike used to work for me. I'm sorry. Dave Riddle used to work for me. He was a tech for me. Yep.
Dave, for a while, was out here at one of the correctional facilities. So he and my neighbor were pretty good friends, having lived out there. And we hung out quite a bit before I even made it out to Dunkirk to see those guys drive. But I saw Mikey this weekend, and Mikey's wife was there. After all those heart problems and stuff that she had, she was just as good as ever. It was good to see.
Awesome. Yep. Great.
So, now you got, I guess you got some potential guests for Crash Course.
A lot of them have been on.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
It's like 200 some episodes.
Right.
We didn't do one this week. We got a derby this weekend, but we didn't do one this week. It was too crazy, what with blowing up a caravan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't get into that discussion at all, Doug, but... yeah, I pulled into the parking lot and I'm like, Chris, where's your van? He's like, on a flatbed. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh.
So yeah, coming home from Ohio past weekend, Deer decided it didn't want to live any longer and committed suicide in front of Chris's van on the thruway.
Oh, geez.
I was within like a half mile of 48A by that big TA.
Yep.
And in the rearview mirror, there was legs and otherwise just a fine mist. It looked like somebody grenaded a Jell-O mold. It wasn't good. It was not good. But nonetheless, digress.
Yeah. Well, Doug, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it as well.
Hey, yeah, no problem. Like I said, we'll definitely have you on again. We'll get some more historical pictures and kind of do a deep dive into Doug Lynden's racing career. Yeah,
I'll be more than happy to do that.
All right, well, say hi to Pam for me, and we will see you, if not this weekend, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right, thanks,
Doug. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, see you.
Bye-bye.
See you now. What do you think? I think that's going to do it for us here. I'm going to...
Your phone made it.
D-tape. It did. I can't believe it did. I can't. And it's still got life left. Anybody else you want to call? Let's see how far it'll go.
You're just not used to having a 2016, 17 model phone. You're used to your 2012 model that finally bit the dust.
Mm-hmm. This is a new phone, and it's weird because I'm not. You're talking about what era it's from. I'm not used to having a phone that'll charge when you plug it into the wall.
Well, your other phone was pretty ridiculous.
It was shot.
Oh yeah. You got every penny's worth out of that phone for sure.
I did. I can't argue with that, and I am glad to be done with it.
Oh my God, I bet you are.
I don't miss that for a minute. But yeah, this one's been pretty good so far. Actually, I got a story for you about that.
I mean, the fact that battery lasted the whole show, and
We started the show at 38%. It's at 29% right now. We talked about it for an hour. Yeah. Which is good because you can't change the batteries in these like the other one that I had. Yeah. It's just like a solid state type thing.
But that's pretty incredible. I don't know if the battery in my phone is that good.
Well, that's an iPhone. I mean,
right.
It's an iPhone. It's designed from the factory to have a bad battery after it gets to be 6 months old.
You hit 2 years and you get 1% battery life out of it. Yeah. And sorry, time to upgrade.
There was a lawsuit talked about that one time. Anyway. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the North Park Building. We'll be back again in a couple weeks.
In theory, I'm gonna put her on the spot right now. In theory, we're supposed to have Jennifer Gunther on the show 2 weeks from tonight.
Okay, cool. Well, that'd be fun.
So Jennifer, part of the, I guess we'll call it, famous Gunther racing family from this area, goes way, way back. And she actually has raced Super Gas with us, and she's actually now racing 470 and had her first 470 race last weekend and won. So
good for her.
That's
cool.
She's committed. So
right.
I'm going to hold her to it.
She's locked in. Because we've never said we'll see you in 2 weeks and then disappeared for a month.
Never.
It's never happened before. All right. Well, once again, episode number 63 is in the books. If you have the chance to get out on Racin Randy's page, on the South Butler Nostalgia Dragway page, offer your remembrances and some condolences of Randy Schweitz again. He passed away way too early and unexpectedly earlier this month. And as we open the show with it, so too will close. Just some thoughts and well wishes to all the family and friends of Randy Salerno. Randy Schweitz. I can't believe I did that. Randy Schweitz.